It won't be long for the new Resident Evil game to finally drop into stores, and to prepare myself, I'm going to do my first attempt on playing on professional mode on the good old classic version we all know and love. And we know we're getting old when we're playing a remastered version of this. So our story begins with Leon doing the typical American procedure of breaking and entering to conduct an investigation. So I showed this fellow villager my picture of my person which I'm looking for. He ends up getting mad at me. I don't like his tone, so I ended up shooting him and kicking him in the face. At this point in the game, this is when I realized that this is professional mode and I'm playing with big boys now. Because you can see that guy just slaps me so hard that I'm already one shot. So I just kicked that guy in the face, end up shaking him and his friend at the same time. Oh yeah, and saving the dog is like the best part in this game. Because he comes into hell. He's important later on in the story. It's mandatory to save the dog, otherwise you go to hell. And at this point in the village, I just walk in there like an absolute Chad without any sort of repercussion. And my main objective is to loot as much as I can, because I know that after beating the chainsaw guy, the one thing that I'm going to be mainly concerned about is having these idiots run around and try and kill me, especially when resources are so limited. I end up getting the shotgun and that guy fell over. And like a Chad, Leon just jumps off a 2-story building, throws a grenade at these guys, and this guy didn't really give me too much trouble either. I only ended up using a couple shots on him since he got caught in the grenade blast as well. Now that I got that guy out of the way, my main concern was outlasting these people, because I have to wait for the cutscene to finally play in, and I have to be here for a certain amount of time. I'm also going to run into a lot of problems with ammo, but that's not a problem for me since I'm always down to throw hands.
Oh my god, finally. That guy was about to kill me.
Oh yeah, my second objective was also to get the medallions that are in the game, because if you get at least the minimum required, you get the Punisher, but if you get all 15, you get the same gun but slightly upgraded. That's going to be really important because I have to at least sell it to get the, I think it's called the Red 9, the most powerful gun in the game, well, handgun, once fully upgraded. Then these three stooges right here tried to throw a boulder at me, but luckily my boy Leon here was blessed with speed faster than Hermes that'll send him quivering down to his trousers. Just look at him how he outruns it. Bam! Dodges it. Absolute mad lad. I'm practically already finishing with the chapter at this point, but thankfully I just needed to clear this area. But first I needed to get rid of these idiots, but luckily their friend right there on the right was stupid enough to get them both killed for me, including himself, so that was an absolute W for me. I'm also trying to get every bit of treasure that I can out of every single area in the map, because once I sell it, I have so much money left over that I could just use it to upgrade the stuff that I need. And it's not much that I need to upgrade too. I'm only gonna have a few select amount of weapons, and I'm barely gonna buy anything for this run. After some excessive flirting from Leon, unfortunately he ended up getting blocked by the village chief right there. Standing tall and mighty, asserting his dominance over these fools. I remember how this guy used to give me PTSD from the promotional posters. Unfortunately, Leon thought he was him, so the only thing that happened was he got his ass kicked by the village chief. But thankfully we'll be able to kill him afterwards later on in the game, but for now this is just how we end the first chapter of the game. And thankfully with 0 deaths, so that's something to celebrate.
Yes, sir. 0 deaths, baby.
While we were knocked out cold, unfortunately Leon gets vaccinated. Good thing Leon ends up waking up, because then afterwards he ends up chit-chatting more with Lewis as if he didn't do enough flirting back at the closet. And for the second time, Leon ends up getting cock-blocked again. I also want to see how they recreate these type of cutscenes that require quick time events, because honestly, you just gotta look at the cutscene and see what I'm talking about.
Now.
Kick, goes flying, goes phew. His wall crack his back, crack his neck. Oh. And Louis just runs away like a little punk. Oh look,
Over
it's
here,
your boy. The
straight.
we also end up meeting our boy the merchant over here, so he's one of my
Good old
favorite
man.
characters throughout the whole game. And just like the
Something
quiet kid at
quite
school, he
interesting.
always stays strapped. Just look at how he pops open that trench coat.
Oh, you getting this?
And after doing some back to school shopping with the merchant, I ended up buying the TMP because it's one of those guns that I'm just not gonna replace ever, since it's gonna be something that I'm gonna use for the long run. I ended up finding one of the two pieces of the puzzle that I needed, so after finding this piece, I quickly went over to the other side to go find the other half of the piece, and putting them together makes an octagon. Or is it a hexagon? I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I was already starting to get used to the way that the NPCs were attacking me, so I didn't really have to worry about much. Also found myself some more treasure and decided to go fishing the good old-fashioned American way. If you don't shoot your fish with a 9mm, I don't know what you're doing. Get out of my face. And unfortunately for Leon, his bubble has been bursted by the village chief after finding out that they are in fact together, and this is his way of getting back at him. Thankfully, after begging like a little bitch, Leon ended up saving his ass for once again. But the village chief told us that if we flirt again with Lewis, that he will definitely shove his foot up our ass. We also end up finishing the chapter right here, so nothing surprising about that I finished it with 0 deaths. Thankfully, I was also well prepared for the chainsaw guy that was there, but unfortunately, I did get a little bit too cocky.
Say hello to my little friend. Get over here, punk. Stay down, punk. Stay down. I said stay down. Stay down. Oh, he's not staying down. He's not staying down.
After putting on my big boy pants, I decided to go down swinging, but thankfully after one more round, he decided to go down. After taking care of these guys, I just looted all their stuff and went back to the trail that led me to the village. And I also did more looting and also more killing.
They're important.
After finishing these guys off, I decided to go to the church, which led me to an underground railroad system, led by Harriet Tubman, which led to a cemetery, which luckily for me was where the rest of the medallions are, so after I got those medallions, I finally get my reward. After completing a cute little puzzle, I ended up finishing up the rest of the medallions, so all that I needed to do was just head to the merchant.
There we go. 15, baby.
And before we end the chapter, all we need to do is face off one of the bosses in the game, but you can see it's clearly not an issue for me. Now, personally, I never really had much of an issue with the fight, although I was actually kind of surprised that most of the attacks were evadable because you could steer the boat away from the logs, and you could also steer away from his bite attack or whatever it is. I was actually pretty surprised I got out on my first try. I expected to die a few times, but no, I actually managed to pull through. Dude, this used to scare me as a kid. I still have trauma from trying to figure out what direction this guy's coming from. Luckily, this guy only dies after one shot, so I was really worried that I have to go through a lot more than just that. But thankfully, we finished the chapter just by killing that guy. And with the power of friendship, we ended up beating the big fishy, but that's not the only boss we'll encounter throughout the playthrough, so we've got a lot more to cover. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. See you on the next one. Drink plenty of water. Catch you later.
0 deaths, baby.